Hi Virgo, welcome to your lovers reading. So my apologies for those of you that were about to ask, there won't be a singles read this year just because I've got too many of these to do and this is on top of my usual workload. But these are for those of you that are partnered, married or in a long-term commitment, or for those of you that have just started dating and you want to see where it's going. That being said, as part of this, there is going to be a nice offer for you, so stay tuned for that. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So that's you, the Emperor and the Empress. This is your couple, your collective. So your first triplet represents the health of the relationship. All right, so let's have a look what's going on. So you've got the Four of Cups, the Ten of Swords and the King of Wands. Right, so in terms of the health of the relationship, you guys have been going through a process of removing and releasing, or maybe even talking out some of the heavier feelings that can sometimes show up in a love relationship, right? And that's part of it. Anyone that tells you, oh, we never argue and everything's perfect in our relationship, they're either bullshitting you or they ain't no passion in that relationship, right? Straight up. What it does look like to me though is that you guys really, in terms of the health of the relationship, you are really navigating the process, or the time that you have. You're going through the process of releasing and navigating the release of difficult emotions that have come up for you. Now, this might not necessarily be with each other. It might not be that there are arguments or challenges or anything like that, like with each other. It may be that there are things that are arising that are out of your control and you're having, to really go over or through some challenging emotions and find a way to release said emotions as a collective. Now, the fact that you've got the King of Wands here does speak to the two things, right? The first one, it's possible that the relationship that you're in has been in some way a bit more public than you would like it, or maybe there's been, too many people trying to give sort of unsolicited advice. On the other side of it, it may also be that you have it might just be that there's someone that's kind of sticking their oar in a bit, and it may also be that you've worked really hard on the relationship and you're quite at this point, and it's true, you should be precious over your relationship. For the blessings of the partnership, you have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups has been so active across, obviously using different decks, but this card has come up a lot. So I think there's going to be a lot of declarations of love this year. We've got the, I think everybody's like, well, the world's going to end anyway. So, even if I do shoot my shot and I miss or I get turned down, it's not going to matter because we're all going to die soon anyway. So that's a very bleak outlook. I jest, bad joke. Then you've got the Six of Wands, and then you've got the Seven of Swords. Honestly, I think that this is, like that really healthy delusion that you have in partnership, where sometimes you're just kind of like, no, I know what it is. I know what, things are. I'm not going to let that sort of dictate, what I want or where I'm going, or do you know what I mean? It's like a really strong sense of whatever the external is, we refuse to let that sort of encroach on our relationship. That is actually a very good way to be and a good place to be at this moment in time. With that Knight of Cups and the Six of Wands, this is an offer that you have both either been working on or with that finally gets to its destination. Now, with this Seven of Swords here, though, it does kind of, when it comes to like some of the interactions that you're having, certainly with what I would consider not even longer term, but like, just with some of the relationship sort of interactions that you're having as a collective, maybe you're just seeing things as a couple very differently to how you did before. But there's also like this really crazy hopeful optimism about something that maybe doesn't make any sense to anybody else. I love that level of delusion. I think it's a healthy thing to have. For your lessons, you've got the Queen of Pentacles, okay. You've got the Five of Swords, okay. And you've got the Seven of Swords. So what this tells me is in your partnership, both of you worry about the other doing too much or the state of either your physical health or your mental health. And this isn't to say that there's anything wrong with either of you, but maybe your workloads are sort of bigger or more extreme than they have been for a while, or maybe you're both working to deadlines or whatever, and the scheduling conflicts that have come up as a result of that have maybe caused a little bit of friction. And it's also possible that outside influences, whether this is people, situations that you're not in control of at work, have kind of pressed a little bit too heavily on the relationship for both of your likings. Well, this is a chance for you to rectify that, and I think just by kind of seeing it as it is or for what it means, you might be able, you'll be able to navigate a way forward and through that. I think more than anything else though, the tough conversations and maybe some of the debates that need to be had will just need to be had. And certainly with the idea of self-care in at the heart of or the core of that. And then finally, for your the future of the relationship, you've got the Wheel of Fortune. We love this. You've got the Judgment card. This is another card that's been very active, and this is obviously, I use different decks for each reading. And the Tower card, right? So the future of the relationship is that there is change on the horizon. This is a lot of cycles within your life and your partner's life they're now coming to a close, right? There's a lot of cycles coming to an end, which means that you're nearing the end of a certain type of era of the relationship. Does that mean it's coming to an end in a brutal crescendo? No, it doesn't. It does, however, mean that the way that your relationship goes moving forward, certainly, this might actually kick in really soon for you guys. You may find that by the time you get to, I would say even up to and including the spring equinox, I think by the time we get to there, the relationship will have gone through a significant shift of some sort. And I actually think this is going to be really good for you because it paints a clearer picture of where you're going as a collective. It's an interesting set of cards to have as well, because that Tower card coupled with Judgment, that's like a big end of an era of something. It might be like an announcement that you make as a couple, and it's not that you're splitting, right? For a select few of you, it could be that. But for most of you, I think this is that you announce like, oh, you know what, the last of our kids has just left home, so we're selling up and we're moving somewhere else. It could be, my partner's just got their dream job and we've deliberated over this a lot. It's going to require us to move to the other side of the country. It could be, like my partner has decided that they're quitting their business or that they're going to sell their business. Do you know what I mean? Like there's whatever it is. As a collective, I think you guys are going to shock people with what you decide to do in the next sort of however long. With that said, I wish you... no, we're not even done yet. Oh my God, sorry. Nearly. So for your central theme... But before we get into your central theme, the offer is my Lovers Spread. I used to offer this as a personal video. I'm bringing it back for the Valentine's Day. So what we would do, we would look at your relationship in depth. We look at the dynamics of the relationship, all of that kind of stuff. It's deeper than this. Obviously, this is a collective reading, but this would be focused specifically on you and your partner. So if you want to get yours, there is a link in the description box below. You can check that out. So your central theme, you've got the Ten of Swords, Six of Wands, Five of Swords, and the Judgment card. I think the message behind this, especially as a collective theme, is it's now time for you to close down what has been one version of your relationship when you were tied to different responsibilities separately, right? So this is a new level of partnership that's coming in. And it's taken, it's honestly, I think for a lot of you, it's probably been, there's been a lot of debate. There's been a lot of discussions, maybe even some heated debates as well. But ultimately, I think what this has revealed to you more than anything else is what is most important to you as a collective now. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic time of it. Remember, link in the description box below to get your personal Lovers Spread reading. Take care, and I'll see you soon.